All right, let's talk about Wendy Williams. She's at it again. This time she's speaking on rapper Foxy Brown's upcoming memoir and throwing out some allegations as well. All right, so producer Chris, what's the story here?
Hey, Wisdom. So, you know Wendy, we love her. Yesterday on Hot Topics, she's talking about Foxy Brown's new memoir, like you said. Everything's going well so far, right? But Wendy being Wendy, she made it a little bit messy. So, she talked about her past with Jay-Z, Foxy Brown's past with Jay-Z. We know that they had a song together. It was called I'll Be. But then Wendy took it a step further, like she always does. She implied that Foxy Brown and Jay-Z were more than just musical partners. Take a look.
This was allegedly a romantical thing. It's all right, I'll say alleged, but we know. Yeah, she hit it before Beyonce. See, I'm not a reader. Like, this is not necessarily a book that I would read, but this is a book that I would hear on tape. The thing is that Foxy can't do her book on tape, but get somebody to put this book on tape.
Since Jay-Z has been named in a lawsuit against Diddy, there are a few celebrities that are coming forward with tea about him. I'm not going to say they're coming out of the woodworks, which is what should be happening, because you know that everyone in Hollywood and the whole music industry has had some dealing with him or interacted with him in some way or another, but they're keeping their mouths shut. The people who are talking about him are people who have either been talking about him this whole time or people who have been rumored to be with him. Case in point, both Solange Knowles and Foxy Brown have a lot to say when it comes to the Jigga Man. What do they have on him? Stick around and I'll tell you.
I remember, right, when Foxy and Jay-Z had, what's that, Be Good?
I'll Be. Yeah,
I'll Be?
That was a good one.
Okay, Foxy was the star of that. Jay-Z was standing in the corner, wringing his hands, talking about, okay, all right, what do I do next? Okay, like all that. And then, you know, this was allegedly a romantical thing. It's all right, I'll say alleged, but we know. Yeah, she hit it before Beyonce.
They say you can tell a lot about a person by the friends they keep, and by this point, I think everyone knows that Jay-Z and Diddy were tight. People have said that Jay and Bey were at Diddy's parties long after other people had already cleared out, and it was kind of just a friends and family deal left. But ever since Diddy got arrested, it's been crickets from Jay. And it's just my opinion, but maybe that's because he knew that something would be coming out against him eventually too. And now it definitely has, as he's being named in a lawsuit right alongside Diddy. The victim alleges that the night of the VMA show, Diddy and Jay-Z raped her when she was 13 years old, and that an unnamed female celebrity watched. We've all been speculating that that female celebrity was probably Beyonce, because when we think female and Jay-Z, we think Bey. But we were wrong about that, which I'll get into later. However, since this took place in 2000, allegedly, we've got to take a look at who was around and who knew the deets with Jay in the 90s into the early 2000s. And the answer to that would be Foxy Brown. The two started hanging out when she was around 14, and rumors have always swirled that they were dating right from the start. Their mentor-mentee relationship, alleged romantic relationship, started when they collaborated on the song Ain't No, recorded in 1994 and then released in 1996. Jay was majorly involved in her album and was one of the main writers on her song Il Nana. This means that Jay wrote this for a 16-year-old to sing Who Got the Illest Pussy on the Planet, Sugar Walls Coming Down, N-Word Can't Stand It. The Il Nana True Absolute Vodka, straight shots for the has-beens and have-nots, dollar bill and it don't stop. We moving up first the mansion, then the yacht. Sound proper, straight cash, got bloodhounds trying to hunt down the brown fox, the Il Nana. Everybody behind the scenes said that he was hooking up with an underage Foxy, and people whispered about how he doled out the cash himself for her hair, nail, and lash appointments. He took her on vacations and bought her designer clothes. And remember, she was still in high school while this was all going on. As a matter of fact, this schoolmate of Foxy's said he used to pick her up when she went to high school. She went to my school, John Dewey, then BCA, then Westinghouse night classes. He used to pull up to Westinghouse for her. Biggie Def used to pick her up too, but they were legit friends. Everybody knew her and Jay were together. Wendy Williams said several times she knew for a fact they had something. It was such a known thing that Knowles called Jay out for it in his song Ether. Foxy got you hot cause you kept your face in her puss. What you think you get in girls now cause of your looks. Jay-Z and Foxy stopped working together and being seen together around 1999, and I'll give you one guess what else started happening around then. That's right, that's when Queen Bey entered the picture and they started stepping out publicly as a couple. But because she ran with Jay and Jay ran with Diddy, Foxy hung out with Diddy too, and people say that they all three went to clubs and partied together. That means she was at ground zero seeing Diddy's lifestyle lifestyle, and what he was about. Not only was she there during the beginning of Rockefeller, she was there during the beginnings of Bad Boy. And because of that, people say the feds called her up and asked her about what happened to Tupac. I mean, she was one of the only women who had direct access and insider knowledge. Then, when Foxy got old enough that Jay couldn't control her every move, he got his buddy Diddy to help him blacklist her. And allegedly, Jay made her sign a mountain of paperwork saying she couldn't go out and talk bad about him or discuss any of the freaky things they did together. But that's okay. She doesn't have to talk for us to know a lot of the stuff that went down between them. Word on the street is that Jay allegedly gave Foxy not one, but multiple STDs. There's even rumors that she had a three-way with Jay-Z and Jamie, and that there's a tape. The story goes that Foxy is the one who kept the tape, but that after her and Jay-Z parted ways, somehow the tape vanished from her home. Now that it looks like Jay-Z is going to have his day in court, just like Diddy is, Foxy is starting to talk. And while she said she's always going to stay loyal to Jay, that apparently doesn't mean she won't talk about Diddy. She said, "My story will shock you to your core. I don't play victim, but I had to step away for a minute for my sanity, or I would have been dead." She also made a post on her Insta story soon after that said, "Shit bout to really get crazy." After Jay-Z was officially named, she posted, "Wait," then she wrote, "Wow." Now, Diddy didn't mess with Foxy like that I know of, because Jay already had that covered, but Foxy was friends with a lot of the people that Diddy did mess with. And the respect she's garnered in the Black community has people listening when she talks.
She did sign an NDA and he's still paying her and her mother's bills right now. If anyone should be ashamed, it should be Inga. All of those diseases that she contracted from all of that unprotected sex with him. And I'm not saying alleged. You say allegedly, I'm not, because I know it to be true. She had sex with my cousin right after that. She burned him. She set the numbers for the CDC in Philly on a new high at 15, 16, 17 years old. She was running all around Philadelphia because Jay-Z promised her that they could be, normal when she wasn't with Corrupt. Corrupt was her fake boyfriend, which is why when they tried to use her to say that she was actually in the car and there with Keepy D and all of that, I'm like, that girl wasn't even there. These women are pawns.
And Solange is in a similar fashion. She's never been down with Jay to begin with. And although she and Jay may be civil since she whooped his ass in that elevator,
well, it's the video that has everyone talking even still. Beyonce's family feud might be deepening, though. Just hours after this video surfaced of a fight in an elevator, her sister, Solange, could be sending a message on social media. Solange reportedly went through her Twitter and Instagram accounts, deleting pictures of Beyonce. In the meantime, Beyonce and Jay-Z are acting like nothing happened. Jay-Z and Beyonce courtside and all smiles Monday night, seemingly unaffected by this leaked videotape capturing Beyonce's sister Solange allegedly physically assaulting brother-in-law Jay-Z. It all happened last week, the power couple starting their night at New York City's Met Gala like this. But a source confirms to ABC News this is how it ended. The video obtained by TMZ was surveillance video recorded in the elevator at the Standard Hotel where Met Gala A-listers had gathered for an after-party.
Solange has never really been cool with them after that. She just silently exited the family. You never see her out at their events and stuff, and she just kind of sits back minding her business. Now that we know more about how Jay operates, it doesn't take a lot to figure out why she doesn't want to be around him. She's always tried to find ways to dodge questions about him, and it's rumored that she's never been happy that Beyonce married him.
Allegedly, Solange is different. She's old school Southern, and she loves her big sister even when her big sister makes mistakes.
Jay-Z was friends with R. Kelly, and we all know what he went away for. But what you might not know is that he was allegedly friends with Jeffrey Epstein, the man who facilitated flights for rich and famous people to a place he called Pedophile Island. And he was friends with Diddy. That's a lot of gross people being tied to one man right there. And it really makes you wonder what he was up to that made it so he had something in common with all of them. Maybe it was 13, 14, 15-year-old girls, allegedly. Sources are now saying that since he's named in this new lawsuit, Solange is just waiting and biting her tongue. Jay released a statement saying, "My only heartbreak is for my family." You remember when Diddy had that big ego and tons of arrogance when allegations first started coming out, and then that video of him whooping up on Cassie came out? That's what this arrogance out of Jay hits me. And allegedly, Solange is sitting back and waiting to watch it all go down. And people say that even though the man is married to her sister, whom she adores, she's not going to feel a bit sorry for any sort of comeuppance that he and his buddy Diddy get. I mean, mean, Jay and Diddy have been thick as thieves for something like the last 30 years, so it doesn't make a lick of sense to just assume that he didn't get his hands dirty with some of Diddy's misdeeds. And Diddy's up in there saying he can't host a Rock Nation brunch from prison by himself. He needs his partner, and Diddy may be reunited with his old flame, Jennifer Lopez, while he's in there too. As you can see, her name was actually listed in the lawsuit now.
Comes his lawyer, Alex. Now, Alex does not represent Diddy or any of the other victims. He solely represents Jay-Z, so he's doing whatever's in Jay-Z's best interest at this point. Well, right now, Alex is trying to make the victim and Tony Busby, the lawyer representing a bunch of victims, discredited. Tony Busby has over 100 victims under his belt, and he's representing all these people, and Alex wants to call him out and saying, you know, he's just looking for a payday, which pretty much discounts all of Diddy's victims as well, and we have plenty of evidence on that front. How does J-Lo come in? Well, it seems like Jay-Z's lawyer is being messy, because the other celebrity who was named in that initial lawsuit is a female. Now, I don't know if Jay-Z's lawyer was just being lazy or wanted to release this name because Tony Busby threatened to release the identity of this female celebrity. So maybe he's trying to get ahead of himself, but looking at the court documents, which shout out to BJ, that surprise witness for these documents, but essentially he brings up the fact that Diddy and J-Lo—
No clue how J-Lo feels about all of this, but we do know that there have been reports for a while that she's been anxious about being linked to Diddy.
some stories in November that it seems like she was putting out that she was struggling with anxiety over the Diddy case. Well, in a turn of events, an interesting story came up today, published by a few sources, where they say that Diddy's associates call J-Lo a disloyal bitch. Isn't that convenient timing? It seems like maybe Jay-Z's team is trying to make J-Lo look bad to maybe divert some of the attention away from himself.
Isn't it funny the timing of everything? Wasn't Jennifer out here making a fool out of herself, making documentaries and stuff about her and Ben, and calling it the greatest story never told not too long ago? And then him and her split up amidst all of this Diddy stuff, and now her name comes up. I'm not gonna say those dots are connected there, but I definitely think the timing is weird. Maybe Ben or somebody on his PR team knew something the rest of the world didn't, and he jumped ship before he went down with her. Anyway, that's gonna be it for this video. What do you think? Are you interested in hearing what Foxy Brown has to say about Diddy and his time with her and Jay-Z? Do you think she'll ever talk about Jay-Z? Do you think some of this stuff that Jay-Z is allegedly tied to is the reason that Solange assaulted him that way in the elevator? And are you waiting to hear what she says about the situation like I am? Let me know in the comments, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye!